Hey guys, my name is Katerina Barrie. Welcome to episode 3 of Daily Divination by Katerina Barrie. Once again, no makeup. Let me dim this light a little bit because it's a little too bright. Okay, here we go, better. So I'm starting my day with doing these readings. So far, this is day 3. Really feeling it, really excited, wake up like going like what are going to be the messages for us today. So I haven't ever been that excited about doing collective readings, but here we are, and here I am doing them and really enjoying it. So let's see if this trend continues or if we might need to switch some things up in the future, but let's not worry about that right now. Okay, so I have 3 cards. The deck I'm using today is the Gateway Oracle, okay? That's like one of the first Oracle decks I've ever worked with. I've had it for about probably 2 years at this point. I started with Tarot. Tarot is what my genius zone is. Tarot is what I love, actually. And the Oracle cards I really love too, but what I love about Oracle cards is that they surprise you, okay? There is no knowing what cards comes up, because with Tarot, and I have a video on my channel somewhere about difference between Tarot and Oracle cards. If you're interested, you can just search for it somewhere. I don't know where it is. I didn't link it. Hey Roxy. And if you guys come in live, let me know. If you don't, if you're on replay or when this live is finished, just also say hello and I'll say hi back in the comments. But so I pulled 3 cards for us today. And so this deck is really good for kind of easy to interpret, feel good messages. This deck is really good for getting kind of like a read on the energy of what's going on right now, okay? So this is easy to work with. I would say this is very, very beginner friendly. And if you want to find that, it's in the description to this video. However, we're going to get started with the messages that we drew. So first one was being in the flow. I am in the flow of the universe. This lovely, beautiful image. The second one is manifesting dreams. My dreams are coming true. And we see this cornucopia of blessings, right? And then the last one is receiving from the angels. I really love that one. Receiving from angels. Shimmering wings of angels. Embrace me with love. So these are the 3 cards that I drew today. And I'm going to start in order. Okay, so these, I was myself kind of looking for a message because when I do these, the messages stay with me for the rest of the day. And this is, I really love where this is taking us. Okay, so first of all, being in the flow. When we wake up, the first thing that happens often is that we get out of the flow immediately. Now, a pattern, and if you guys want to connect with me and read my writing and know about what's going on, the best way to do this is follow me on Facebook or join my group, which is also in the description to this video. But something I'm going to share today through writing is I released 2 things last night. And one of the things I'm going to tell you right now what it is. One of the things is this stress, okay? For me, it's money stress because right now I'm good. Like everything is taken care of, right? And that hasn't been my story for most of my life, okay? So yesterday I realized something. I was like, okay, this is paid, this is paid, this is paid. And I'm sitting there stressing, like looking for, but what's gonna not be paid? What do I not have enough money for right now? And I was looking for, and I caught myself, I'm like, what is going on here? Everything's good. I should be happy, right? I should be proud. Things are taken care of. And here I am sitting looking for something to stress over, like, but what is not covered though? I'm looking for it. Well, when you're looking for something like that, the universe will bring it. And I was like, I need to stop this, and I need to see where this pattern comes from. So why am I bringing this up? Because the flow is when you're flowing. The flow is when you're trusting. The flow is when you are operating from a place of abundance and trust. That's flow. But what I was doing, what I brought up, that looking for what's not going to work, that's not flow. That's you obstructing the flow. That's you getting in the way of the flow. And that's you attracting things that you're looking to stress about. If you're looking for something to stress and everything's good, the universe will give you something because you're looking for it. I had a very similar experience, but the opposite yesterday too. I lost a pen. I like it. Okay, that's actually an example that one of the channelers that I really like, Esther Hicks, brings up in her Abraham channelings. Okay, this pen story. Hers is a little different, but mine was really simple. I picked it up somewhere, I put it somewhere, and I'm like, where the hell is the pen? I looked here, I looked there, I looked everywhere, and I'm like, okay, I really need this pen. Did I just lose it in the living room somehow? And then I thought to myself, the pen is not lost. It didn't leave the house by itself. The pen's here somewhere. It's not lost. And you guys, as soon as I said to myself, the pen is not lost, I looked and I saw it on the window pane. Like, I guess I was cleaning up and I just put it there. I don't know. I don't know how I got there. But as soon as I told myself, the pen is not lost. It's in the house. It's not lost. Then here I saw it, like seconds. And I didn't remember where I put it. I just happened to look that way. But what does it tell us, okay? What's with the pen and stuff? It tells us that when you think something is lost, you can't find it. Because if something is lost, you can't find it. And when you think that something, it's not lost, it's somewhere, I'm going to find it eventually, maybe not right now, then you already changed that energy. It's not lost. And then you just removed that obstruction. Now, if you're looking for something to worry about, you're like, okay, the bills are paid, but what about next month? Hey, Christy, have a wonderful day as well. I love seeing you guys live, by the way. If you drop a comment, I will always say hi back, or I'll try to, unless I'm like in the midst of channeling, which happens sometimes. But right now I'm just sharing. And so with this flow card, it just reminds me of these experiences. If you're worried about something that hasn't happened yet, hey, Amethyst, so good to see you. Then you're going to bring it around, okay? If your relationship is going fine and you're like, we haven't had a fight in a really long time. Is everything okay? You're going to find a fight. There is no need for that, but you're going to look for it and you're going to find it. Nicole, hi, good to see you. Christy, yeah, I'm glad you're getting it. Another thing that I want to add about flow is that it's a kind of self-fulfilling prophecy when you're allowing. That's the biggest thing. When you're allowing and you're kind of releasing anything, like I said, where you're looking for problems or you're thinking something is lost, and that creates this whole ordeal that you can't find something. When you keep releasing it throughout the day and you keep flowing, you keep allowing, it brings more experiences that are easygoing. And there's another thing to the flow. Flow is not trying to battle against the stream. Flow is not trying to go upstream. Okay? So when something isn't flowy, right? So there's a subject, for example. You're like, okay, I got up, had a nice cup of coffee, did some yoga, this is fun, and you're in the flow. But then you think about, what about, this thing my mom told me like 3 months ago? Or what about this upcoming situation that I have no idea how it's going to work out? That's upstream. You're going to prevent that flow. So what do? Well, when you encounter that kind of resistant upstream going thought where you're starting to worry about something or something that you think about is stressing you out, you have to walk away from it. You have to leave it for now. Because right now, if you're feeling like this, you're not going to resolve the situation. That's right, Christy, refocus. If you're feeling like that, there's going to be no solution. It's like thinking that something is lost and trying to find it. It's going to be a lot harder to find it if you think it's lost. If you don't think it's lost, it might just show up the next second. So refocus, yes, but also don't think about resistant things. Like, don't try to battle it, because in that moment you can't solve it. So that's the lessons with the flow. I am in the flow of the universe. I really love this card. It has a lot of magic in it, okay? It has, yes, I love it. Thank you for sharing, Christy. I appreciate your participation very much. Christy says, refocus, realign, reset. You can do it. Yes. And that flow, it's not necessarily hard to achieve. It's not supposed to be hard. If it's hard, then you're thinking about something that isn't flowy, okay? And right now is not the time to think about it. Even if it's something that's hanging on you, even if you have a bunch of debt, and all of a sudden you start thinking about it, is that gonna make the debt go away? No, no. You can't think about it and want the flow. If it's resistant, if it's upstream, not gonna happen. And you guys, I want to just point out a little detail with the card. There's a little angel, and the only thing I don't like about these cards is they are reflective. I do not like that because I like to take pictures of my cards. I like to show them in videos, and when they do this, it's really annoying. You see this little angel like leaning into the boat. I really like that. So essentially, it's trusting. It's allowing that higher guidance to lead you. Instead of battle, okay, instead of sailing really hard. The flow sails you. You don't push the flow. You don't force the flow. You don't drive the flow. You flow with it, okay? Allowing. Most important part, allowing. Okay, so next card is one of my favorite in this deck. If not, I think it's the favorite. There's another one that has a unicorn in it. So a very strong contestant. Manifesting dreams. My dreams are coming true. So first of all, we see a little bit of a reminiscence of the season. Okay, it's a parting season. Right now we're exiting the fall. Aw, thanks, Christy. I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling very like, I don't know, something in the energy is different today. I did release some things last night that just, including that stress, that were just, I realized like that's not even me, that's some generational stuff, but I'm gonna get into details about that later in my writing Facebook post probably. Anyway, manifesting dreams, yes, Christy, yes, flowing. Manifesting dreams is something that we touched on yesterday. So by the way, you guys, you can always watch any episode on any day that you find it. These are not time sensitive. These are to be heard whenever you hear them. Okay, so yesterday, if you missed yesterday's, check it out. There was all the cards that came up were talking about how to focus on your like vision of success and never let anything sway you from it until you reach it. All the cards were about that. It was like amazing. And it was a longer episode, but it has had an impact on me. Because I thought about these messages myself throughout the day yesterday, and it has changed me in some way. So check it out. It's really valuable. But this is kind of a little bit of a continuation of that. So something that I touched on yesterday was that in order to manifest any kind of vision for success or dreams or whatever, you have to have that vision in mind. But how do you have that vision in mind if it has never happened before? My friends, imagination, we all have it, okay? I was told when I was little that, oh, enjoy it while you're little, it's gonna go away. It's not gonna go away unless you believe it is. And then the other thing is, imagination is not child's play. It can be, and it can be really fun, but that's how empires are created. Do you think the cathedrals in Spain and Italy, the ones that are just wow, like how did people even construct those? Do you think that was like, oh, let's observe mundane reality and see what comes up? No, someone imagined them. So someone had to see that whole entire cathedral built by hundreds of people before it was even started, before the foundation was even set. Someone had to see the whole thing. How do you see that if it doesn't exist? You use your imagination. Now, I know my artist friends get it. I know my spiritual kind of on the psychic side friends get that. But that's not restricted to any profession or any area of work. This is your life. You can imagine the life that you desire and then you can create it. But the most important thing in all of this is that once you create it, you have the vision of what it looks like when it's already done. It's not done yet, but in your mind, you have a concept of what it would look like. Why am I reiterating this over and over again? Because that's how you manifest it. You have to have that vision, but you can't give that up, okay? The first time someone says, oh, it's not gonna work, you can't just be like, oh, well, I guess it's not. You have to keep that vision. My dreams are coming true. This is not, I wish my dreams would come true one day. This is holding that vision. My dreams are coming true because I'm seeing it as it is when it's completed. Christy says, begin with the end in mind. Yes. There is another thing, and again, I touched on that yesterday, but one of my favorite books, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, there's a phrase, and I can never remember it, but there was more gold mined from the mines of men than it was from all of whatever. I can't remember it, but there was a story of this guy with a gold mine. He happened to get a gold mine somehow. And him and his uncle were mining the gold, and they found some gold. And then, yes, me too. I love Napoleon Hill so much. By the way, the other favorite book of mine is Outwitting the Devil. Just like absolutely brilliant. Like so changed my mind about so many things. But Think and Grow Rich is by far so just brilliant. Anyway, so the guy and the uncle were mining the gold, right? They found some gold, and then the vein went away. And they were like, mine some more, and no more gold. And they're like, oh well, we ran out of gold, so they sold the mine. The guy who bought the mine did not know anything about the mines, just like they didn't. So he hired a person that did know. The person did some analysis and tapped and did whatever they do. And then he was like, yeah, the gold is still there. It's just like 4 inches away or 5 inches or however. It's like just a little to the side. So the guy who bought the mine found all the rest of the gold. And the guy who sold it was like, why didn't I check, right? Why didn't I believe enough before I just gave it up? So from that lesson, this guy decided, I'm gonna mine the gold, but not from the mine. I'm gonna mine it from my mind. So I'm gonna keep that vision. I'm not gonna give up any more visions. I'm gonna select a vision and I'm gonna mine it until I get it. Not until I run out or someone tells me it's impossible or this or that. I'm gonna do it until I freaking manifest it. And that was just like the first chapter of the book. But that story, I listened to it over and over again. At first I was like, yeah, whatever, some gold mine, great. But then I was like, wait a second. I think I see what this is talking about. It's talking about once you have the vision, once you got your gold mine, don't let the first sight of, oh, well, we're out of gold, I guess, tell you that give up on the mine. No, just keep freaking doing it and get some help. Get someone else, get someone to help you, do something for you, learn from someone. Study, go seek masters, go knock on doors, whatever, okay? Whatever you need to do, but never give up on the freaking mine. It's not a mine, it's a metaphor. It's your own vision for success. It's your own vision for your dreams. You will get them, I guarantee you, but you can't get them if you give up on them. And you most definitely can't get them if whenever someone throws something at you like, oh, you can't do it, or I don't believe that it is possible or something, and you take their word over your own, okay? Not gonna work. But if you just keep holding it, you will receive it. It's absolutely guaranteed. Why is it guaranteed? I suggest that you check out Think and Grow Rich. I think every person should read it at least once in their lifetime. It is guaranteed because there are laws of the universe that absolutely guarantee that you will reach what it is that you set your mind on as long as you don't give up until you get it. So that was the second one. And the last one is receiving from the angels. Shimmering wings of angels embrace me with love. I really, really love that one because it's talking about receiving. One of the most important things I think we struggle with, even those of us who are, hold the dream, says Christy, release the inner and outer criticism. I really like that. But one of the things that I think we, even on our spiritual journeys, even those of us who do some spiritual development and do personal development and all of that, I think a lot of us have trouble with receiving. We ask, yes. Sometimes we have trouble asking, but when it comes to asking the spirit realms, like angels or guides or ancestors or whatever, maybe even higher self, you know, give me an answer, show me what this means. That was me yesterday, because I had this pattern come up and I almost cried. Like I had this thought pattern from my childhood, and I'm like, why is this coming up now? And then I was like, why is this coming up ever? Like, where did I get this from? Like, I remember it's a thought pattern. It's hard to explain. Again, I'll probably write a post about that today. But it was like so spur, and I'm like, where did this start? And so I couldn't understand it. Hold on, let me read a comment. Think and Grow Rich right after. And oh wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I talk about this book. I've talked about it in a few of my videos, but I think the energy is just, it helped me break through in so many ways, Roxy. I'm sorry guys, my hair is like, it's flat, whatever. I'm just gonna work out later on, so I'm not worried about it. But it's bugging me when it's like all over. One of the things is, I was asked, so this pattern came out, and I was asking my spirit guides and team, like, what is this? Where did this come from, right? And then, okay, so I didn't get the answer immediately. I was like, why? Okay, I'll revisit this. And then sitting in the bathtub and just like kind of meditating, releasing, I had this breakthrough. But in that breakthrough, oh, thanks, Christy. I really appreciate that. In that breakthrough, I had to receive, okay? Receiving means sometimes it's not comfortable, okay? It's not all airy-fairy pleasure, abundance, and, you know, beauty, okay? It is. A lot of the times it is, don't get me wrong. But when you're asking for something, when you're asking your guides or angels, if you're saying, hey, give me an answer. Why is this happening to me? Why is this happening over and over and over and over again? Like, what is the beginning or the end of this pattern? Or alternatively, you know, what is my answer? What action can I take right now? Or alternatively, you know, what is it that I'm not understanding? What is the higher truth here? Okay, what is the wisdom? I'm seeking the wisdom, illumination. So in the asking, it's important to ask. That's a separate subject, how we sometimes don't ask. Separate subject. But when you do ask, how do you receive? Because sometimes receiving it's uncomfortable. Because something's shown to you might call you out. And you might be like, oh God, yeah, yeah, responsible for this. Sometimes we don't want to see that. Sometimes we don't want to be aware that some people in our life, they're not in alignment. We don't want to hear that. We're like, yeah, but sometimes we don't want to hear that a pattern of ours is addictive. You're like, yeah, but it's just, you know, I'm just doing it a little bit, just playing. We don't want to hear it. So receiving, although yes, it is often this incredible breakthrough energy where you're just like, the moment is magical and it's all happening for you, and all the things click and connect, and you're like, yes. Sometimes receiving is like, oh my God, I think I just got it. I think I see what it is now. And you're like, that means change needs to occur. That means things must be shifted. That means maybe you need to stop doing something or start doing something. And when you don't want to face that, the receiving end might be a little bit kind of like you're holding off the breakthrough because you don't want to see it, okay? And oftentimes that comes up in my private readings as well when I work with clients one-on-one. I can feel the I can feel the energy. It's like I don't want to say the message. It's coming through. The card is there, or a combination of cards. The message is there. But I'm like recording it and I'm like, I don't want to say it because they don't want to hear it. But I have to because they just took a step so that someone else can assist them, right? So it's on me now to deliver that message as clearly as I can. But that feeling of resistance, it can be felt even from the distance. I don't do readings one-on-one with people anymore, like in person. All of the work I do is like from the distance, okay? So all of my readings are recorded for a client without them being present in the room. It's only their energy that I'm connected to. Even energetically, holding off on receiving what it is that you're asking for translates as this resistance, and I feel it as the channeler, as the reader. Even I experience it because I'm about to deliver the message that the message has been trying to get through, and they've been asking for it, but they don't want to hear it, so they're like, nah, but I have to. So this is beautiful, but it can also be uncomfortable. So when you ask, you guys, if the answer isn't coming, this is what I'm getting to. If the answer isn't coming, if your breakthrough isn't coming, if your why is this happening isn't coming, if your what's the truth of the situation isn't coming, I want you to ask yourself, are you holding it off? Are you maybe not willing to receive what it is that you're asking for? Is it going to call you out? It might. But you know what? The most important thing that might make it easier for you to receive is that we're all human. You can't expect yourself to be the superhuman, super angel in a human form and not have any human problems. That's just, you would not be in a body. And you know what? That's something, one of my biggest breakthroughs was actually during an ayahuasca ceremony, separate subject altogether, but it's a very spiritual experience that in the moment you can't exit, okay? It puts you in a position where you can't just stop it. You can't just get up and be like, okay, no more, nope, done with this, don't want to see this. You're just in it for hours and hours and hours. And that breakthrough was like, you chose this life. And it was like it's not even like voiceover. It's a very direct experience with the divine, okay? And that experience was like right in my face. Like, you chose this. Stop complaining, okay? Female, this, that, you chose everything. Everything. Parents, body, everything. Challenges, situations, all the frustration, everything. And you keep choosing it. You keep choosing things in your life as you are living it. And I felt so cold out. I was like, I can't argue with that. I don't know how my soul chose this life or this body because I'm in the body. So I can't really see how that process works. But I believe it. I mean, who else? I mean, I'm living it. So who else would have chosen it? It's me. Has to be, right? So you chose everything. So if you're holding off on receiving something because you're like, maybe I'm not perfect. Maybe I screwed up. I don't want to hear it. You do want to hear it because you want to get over it. And stop beating yourself up on being imperfect. There is no such thing. And also, you chose to be human. You could have chosen to float around in some angelic form maybe or something like that. I don't know. But you didn't. Here you are watching this video. Very much a human experience. So you chose this. So receive what it is that you're asking for and don't be afraid of it. Even if it calls you out on stuff, you're human. You're allowed to make mistakes and you're allowed to course correct. You're allowed to completely change your trajectory. And you don't have to explain yourself to anyone, ever, by the way. So altogether, let's see, Christy says, we're all pure positive energy having a human experience. Just try to enjoy the journey and not take it so seriously. We were meant to be imperfect and evolve. Hey, Judy, good to see you. Thanks, Christy. Super, super good answer. Judy, I'm just doing collective cards on these series. So I'll be doing, by the way, you guys, to all of you watching, lovely little crowd today, I'm doing personal card pulls in my group at 11 a.m. Okay, that's gonna be in my group. If you're not in it, join. The link is in the description. If you're in it, you're good. Just make sure to tune in at 11, which I guess is soon. I guess it's in about an hour or less or something. Anyway, 11 a.m. EST. So less than an hour from this live. Okay, so all together. Yeah, Roxy, please join. It's like free Facebook group. It's private. There are some questions. but I'm just trying to prevent trolls, okay? It's very easy to join, by the way, not very hard to do. So Christy, no, I'm in South Carolina. One of the things that I want to say for all these cards, is that all of that is working with energy, okay? From being in the flow to manifesting your dreams to receiving from angels or from guides or from the spirit world, your higher self maybe. It's all working with energy, okay? It's not anything else. It's very simple. It's energy. How do you work with energy? The most important thing is you feel. What I mean by that, if something doesn't feel good, that is the sign that it's not in flow or alignment with you. It's not corresponding to your energy very well. So your feelings, people say, oh, feelings, forget your feelings. Your feelings are your guidance to what is happening around you and inside of you. This is your guidance of how to manifest anything in life. Your feelings tell you if something is wrong. Your feelings tell you. Okay, I think I'm back. Sorry, so I got some junk hole and things got paused. Anyway, your feeling tells you when you're not in the flow. Oh, goodness, so good, Judy. I'm so grateful you're here. Emotions are internal tools. Yes, thank you guys for staying on. I hate when someone calls me and I'm doing a live. Especially when it's like junk calls. So the feelings are your guide. If something that you're thinking about doesn't feel good, you're taking yourself out of the flow. If someone tells you something that doesn't feel good, don't listen, okay? If you're sharing your dreams with someone and they're like, not gonna work, stop sharing your dreams with that person. And also another thing is, be careful sharing your dreams. Like setting intentions, yes. Sharing your experiences, yes. Sharing your vulnerability, yes. Telling your story, yes, absolutely. Go for it, anytime. Sharing your dreams, I would not recommend, okay? If it's like your soulmate friend, like your soulmate, like aligned person, your soulmate aligned parent that you're just so connected with, that gets you, okay? Not gonna judge you, loves you, wishes well for you. You can tell from their energy. Sharing with them makes you feel good. Yes. If you're sharing something with someone, hoping to get their validation, secretly they don't really like you, and you're like, I have this dream. I want to build an empire. And they're like, yeah, I would dial back on that a little bit. Don't share things with people like that, okay? It's not that these people are wrong. It's that the energy they put out, you pick up. And then all of a sudden that dreams becomes like, yeah, maybe it's not real. Maybe it's not possible. So protect the energy of your dreams. It's sacred. You're not supposed to be sharing it with naysayers and convincing them. They'll be convinced when you manifest it. But in order for you to manifest it and really focus on it without any obstruction, you got to protect it, okay? So protect your dreams. This is a side note. But Napoleon Hill, by the way, that we brought up earlier, also mentions that. Don't mention your dreams to other people. They might not want you to succeed, and they're going to put as much negative energy as possible because they're pissed off that you're out here dreaming and doing things. Yes, Christy, invite other energies against your manifestation, even if it's good intentions. Yes. And in Russia growing up, which is where I grew up, there's a whole lot of like, kind of like old wives' tales, I guess, or let me take a sip of coffee. Dry throat. Yes, exactly. Protect your dreams. There is this like, what are those called? Not old wives' tales, but superstitions. That's it. Superstitions around like saying something you really desire, and then the moment you say it to someone, it's not going to happen anymore. There's like a belief in that, a little bit. I don't think I'm quoting that exactly as it is, but it's like something like, oh, like even my grandma would say, like I would say, oh, I just, oh, I want this so much. She'd be like, make sure you don't say it to anyone else. Keep it to yourself. Or like, I would be like, oh, I just, I have this idea and I told my best friend. She'd be like, might not happen anymore. You just told your best friend. So it's a little superstitious, but come think of it, there is something to it. There is a reason for this, because when you share your vision, right, you take the energy away from it instead of holding the energy and putting more energy in to manifest it. You take that energy and you dump it on the world. You're like, hey world, I'm gonna do this. And then the world's like, maybe not. And then you're like, maybe not. Instead, you should keep it, okay? So, and the last one, receiving. Remember, you're not here to be perfect. You're here to evolve. You're here to change. You're here to have a human experience. So if there's something that you're afraid, you're like asking, what does it mean? What am I doing? How is it, like, whatever? How is it working? Where is it coming from? Don't be afraid to receive that answer, even if it's gonna call you out. It's okay. That's how you grow. There's no shame in that. There should never be any shame in that. So these are the messages. I'm gonna jump off here. I'm gonna do a live reading in my group. So if you're not in a join, if anyone is watching this on replay, I do a lot of live readings in my group. This is not the first or the last one, so join it anyway. Dreams are sacred. Yes. Christy, you are spot on today with everything. And I appreciate you very much. So another thing that I'm gonna do, you guys, actually, I felt this, I wasn't sure, but I'm gonna do a live on my Facebook page, which you can, again, find by joining my community. You will see me there. I'm the admin. Most of the posts are mine. So I'm gonna do a quick live on my personal page. It's not gonna be a reading of any kind. I want to talk about how spirituality is not separate from anything in life. I've been running into a lot of confusion lately with people who are saying, well, aren't you spiritual? Like, isn't that supposed to be, or is this, but that's not spiritual, or how can I use this in my story or whatever if I'm a spiritual person? That's not really everything is spiritual, okay? I'm going to talk more about that on my personal Facebook. So on this note, thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Thank you for joining. I hope to see you in my community. Free, by the way, free to join in. There will be a reading at 11 a.m. EST very, very soon. And then hop over to my personal page. It's spelled the same way, Katerina Barrie, on Facebook. And I'll talk a little bit about how spirituality is not separate from anything else. So, all right, you guys, bye. Thank you for tuning in.